Hi, and welcome to Scales Reels. The question on everyone's lips is, scales, modes, what's the difference? Well, scales and modes aren't quite the same thing. Let's break it down using two very different scales, the major scale and the harmonic minor scale. A scale is a fixed set of notes built from specific patterns of intervals. Let's start with one of the most well-known ones, the major scale. I talked about this scale in detail in a previous video, so if you want more details on the history, you can check it out there. It's built on this formula: whole step, half step, whole step, half step. But not all scales are so happy-go-lucky. Let's contrast it with the harmonic minor scale. The harmonic minor has a flat 3, which is the hallmark of all minor scales, and a raised 7th, giving it a darker and more mysterious and exotic feel. They use it a lot in classical music, and many people learn this scale as part of their classical music education. A mode is what happens when you start from a different note in the scale but keep its pattern intact. That means that the major scale and the harmonic minor scale both have 7 modes, as they are 7-note scales. Here are some major scale modes. If I start on C, we get the standard major scale or Ionian mode. If I start on D, we get the Dorian mode, which can be smooth and jazzy or old and mysterious sounding. If I start on E, we get the Phrygian mode, which has a dark, sexy vibe. Flamenco uses this scale. Here are some harmonic minor modes. If I start on A, we get the harmonic minor, which is Aeolian sharp 7. It's exotic and dramatic sounding. If I start on B, we get Locrian sharp 6, kind of darker. And if I start on C, we get the Ionian sharp 5, and that sounds light and airy. A more practical way of understanding modes, so that you can use them in your playing, is to start on the same note for each mode, but change the order of intervals as if you were starting from a different note, like this. Here's A Ionian, A Dorian, A Phrygian. The key difference between them is this: a scale defines a full set of notes. A mode is just a different way of hearing them. The word mode comes from the Latin word for method, manner, or way. So, modes in music are simply another type or method or musical formula for picking which notes to play in a melody. C major is one scale, but it has 7 modes. One mode for each note of the scale. The same is true for A harmonic minor. Modes open the door to understanding that depending on the harmonic context, the same notes can have very different feels. One thing that I like to do is play the mode over a static drone note or chord to hear each mode's full effect. Now that you know the difference, let's dive into the modes. I'm going to make individual videos on each mode of the major scale and the harmonic minor scale, and other scales too, discussing their musical effect and practical usage.